Conor McCafferty, 117360443. Gaelic football lockdown.
The associated learning wall includes relevant information and instruction such as benefits of the skill, how to apply the correct technique to the skill, common errors prevalent in the execution of the skill, and finally the learning intentions of the lesson. At the commencement of the lesson, the teacher explains to the observing students how the content of the learning wall will be integrated into the following lesson. The teacher also explains how the lesson will be conducted in a manner that attempts to improve their ability in executing and learning about the block-down skill. The first task requires the designated blocker to execute the skill to the best of his ability and prior knowledge. It is evident that the student is extremely incompetent and his actions reflect the incorrect common errors referred to in the learning wall. In analysing the student's performance of the execution, he appears to close his eyes when attempting to block, is shying away from sufficient contact to the opponent, and his hands are outstretched and away from the ball, which significantly contribute in his failure to execute the skill effectively. In order to address the student's incorrect technique, the teacher intervenes to reiterate and demonstrate the key steps in executing the skill competently and successfully. The teacher encourages the student to keep his eyes fixed on the ball, to stand close to the opponent while reaching forward from the side with his hands closed, which results in successfully blocking down the ball. The teacher then informs the students to observe his demonstration of an activity that can further enhance their learning and execution of the skill. The activity acknowledges progression and regression of a skill which practices and promotes the steps involved in executing the block down appropriately. The student successfully applies the correct technique to the activity from 3 different positions. He constantly observes the ball, positions his hands and feet correctly while blocking the ball effectively under the guidance of the teacher. At the conclusion of the lesson, the teacher briefly refers to the learning wall and how it was necessary, as well as evaluating the student's performance and development throughout the lesson. The teacher also attains feedback from the student's perspective by answering any concerns or questions that they may have had in relation to the lesson. In terms of evaluating the student's progress in executing the skill, it was apparent that the student utilised and adhered to the correct steps of the technique and the progressive activity after the teacher's instruction and demonstration. Although the student originally failed to execute the block-down skill successfully, appropriate intervention and guidance from the teacher's contribution allowed the student to learn about the skill